Okay. Hi, my name's Lyle Sopel, and I'm a Jade Gemstone artist, and you're here with me today in a place called the Okanagan. I'm on a little bit of a vacation away from the studio, and as you can see in the background, there's this beautiful lake. It's called Okanagan Lake, and it's a place that I like to come when in the summer months. Of course, it's in central British Columbia, and it's a place that I plan to get away at least once a year to because it's so beautiful here. You can see that the lake is so much, it has so much peace and tranquility, and along the benches leading down to the lake are a big variety of orchards of all kinds, but most importantly, there's a lot of vineyards around here. So, you know, a lot of my
Not social, not on.
yes, it is. Hi, Mario. How are you? It is a very beautiful place, and Aaron, it's nice to see you on too. So, yeah, this is a place that I have been planning to vacation to for some time. So, you know, it's how anything becomes anything. You choose in advance what you'd like to do, put the date on the calendar, and then work towards that. So, just one sec. I'm going to make sure that we're all on here, and we're live. Yeah. Okay, we're live, and everything looks good to me. I think we're all good here. So today what I wanted to talk about is, first of all, how beautiful the place is and what it means to me to get away to a place like this. Because I'm often really intense with my work in the studio, and so it's always important to charge my batteries and to get engaged back in nature where my inspiration is. So in this place, there's mountain biking trails behind us, and I take my bike out and travel around there, or, you know, hike through the woods around here, or visit the wineries and go to the lake and all that kind of stuff. And so I just really clear my mind of anything that I was concerned about in business or anything else. And so it's really where the essence of the creativity comes from, is this ability to just let loose and be free for a little while. So that's what I like to do every once in a while. So you're experiencing this with me today, so I'm glad to have you here. So today what I wanted to talk about is pricing and valuing your art as one of the topics, and presentation, and actually knowing something about the psychology of selling your art is also very important. So first of all, selling your art is very important, but to actually price it correctly is the key element in getting a good sale. So, you know, I like to use the Goldilocks theory, and the Goldilocks story is a way that I can remember how to do this is to choose the Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear theory about pricing your art. So your art should be like a low price, a medium price, and a large price. And that way you can qualify your values. So if you have things that people can judge, they can take a look at your art, they can see what a small item that you might do is valued at, and then they can see what a large item will be valued at. Then they can make a judgment of how you present your art. So without that ability to make a judgment on your art, people can't really make an honest decision about it. So like if all of your art is priced at one value, just like all the same value all the time, it's pretty tough for people to make a good decision on what's worth it to them. And so I always make a point of making sure that I have a lot of variety in the pricing when I do a show or something like that. So that's what I really highly recommend, is to look at your art, try to find ways to look at it as a low value, a medium value, and a high value. So I promise you will never sell a high value thing without somebody being able to make a judgment on your art. So what's a low value? And so most often I make presentations with at least 3 pieces, preferably 6, but at least 3 pieces when I make a presentation at different values. And you know, most often people will choose the piece in the middle. So that's always a great way to get a sale. So the next thing is kind of really understanding your clients. Like when you make a presentation to a client, it's often something kind of mysterious about understanding their personalities. You know, like there's a time that you need to get to know them and feel them out and sort of understand where they're at when they view your art. Some people are really excited when they see your art for the first time, and some people like to contemplate it and think about it. So as a presenter or a seller of your art, you need to understand this about their personality and about their perspective on what you're showing them. So my belief is that you need to echo their personality or their response to your art. So if somebody's really excited about the art that they're looking at, be excited with them. Join in and you know, tell them how wonderful you feel about it too. It's not a lie, it's the truth about your art. Or in the other case, I know I'm like this as a person. I like to take time to think about my purchase. I look at something, I love it, and then I just like to contemplate the idea and think it over before I make a decision. So you have to be aware of that too. When people come in and you have to be aware of that kind of personality. So you give those people all the information that you might have about yourself. And so we've talked about this before, about having printed matter and information about you as an artist and things of that sort that could help people understand you more and understand your art more. That way they can make a decision. So that might take maybe a little more time with a person like that, rather than someone that's excited and you're excited with them. So that's a great way to understand people, understand the psychology. So if you think in that terms, that it's more than just a hello, glad to meet you. It's try to understand the psychology of the person that's viewing your art and relate to them on their level. So it helps. It's really a great way to work into a good relationship with the client. So another thing is presentation. You know, it's you know, we're all artists, and you know, we think that the only place that we're creative is with the art that we produce, and that's not always the case. I mean, when we make presentations, that's really a creative aspect of who we are as artists and what people anticipate from meeting us and seeing us. So really, you know, the game is wide open at a presentation. I mean, you don't have to be restricted. I think it's a detriment really to be intimidated or shy about your presentation. It's really good to be open and expressive about what you're showing people. And one of the things that I always do with show presentations, where I have a very focused audience for my work, is I drape every piece so that no one can see it. So I put a shroud over each sculpture, and then we invite people in to see it. And the anticipation just builds and builds when they see all these shrouded forms. They can't figure out what's underneath them. And so I start with one piece and I lift the shroud, or, you know, I might ask one of the clients to come in and remove the shroud. So that's another thing too that we can do. So that brings a lot of interest to the art. So it's part of the showmanship, I could say. And it's really a great way to bring clients in and get them more intrigued about your art. So I like that, and I think, you know, the game is open. That's a way to do it. It's a way that I find that is really interesting. But also, when you unveil, you got to have a storyline, something to explain your art, and people are intrigued visually, and then just intellectually engage them with your story. And when you have them both visually and intellectually and then emotionally engaged, you're going to have a client. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And if you have any questions about this kind of thing, the sales presentation, and about how to present your work, just ask me a question on Facebook and I'm happy to get back to you. And so I look forward to being with you, and next week I will be back in the studio and I'm going to show you some progress on some of my latest work. So stay inspired, and hopefully you can get away and enjoy some of the summer before it's all faded. So nice to see you. Bye for now.